Hi guys, how are you? I wrote something to you as a present to all my friends in US and Canada and also England. And I prefer to write it down because it's so difficult for me to think in English. Okay, so I write it down and I hope this text can express my thinking about self-defense and self-protection, okay? So here it goes. When we think of self-defense, normally it's an abstract idea of what should be. If for you violence is street fighting, then self-defense should be a method of fighting one-on-one. If for others violence is an armed robbery, then self-defense for them should be how to survive assault, and so on. Each person have their own idea of violence and their own idea of self-defense. But what is really self-defense? In the country that I live, violence is kidnapping, torture, armed robbery, organs trafficking, etc. Street fights are the less of our problems. So for me, self-defense goes beyond of knowing how to fight. It is more about how to survive the evilness of certain human beings. Maybe you will think how dramatic thinking that I have. Well, you are not seeing what I've seen. So I have a different approach to self-defense that actually is more about self-protection. Because self-defense, as it is just a group of techniques that use force to help you to escape dangerous situations. But if you think carefully, these techniques are just resources to certain scenarios, and if these techniques are not contextualized to each situation, you just have certain tools, but you don't know how to use them. And if you try to use them without knowing when, how, and where, and why to use them, it will be worse than if you don't use them. The world of self-defense is too subjective, in my opinion. Each person, each system, each instructor have their own idea and resolution without understanding how different the scenarios of violence are, and try their own fighting style to solve all the scenarios. And this is ignorance because, as I say, self-defense is just a small part of something bigger called self-protection, where it's not just about techniques or subjective points of view. Also, it's about tactics and other elements. You can be wonderful and effective with your fighting style, and that doesn't mean that you know how to protect yourself and your loved ones, because your fighting style will work only with the similar codes of attack and response. And the codes in general are so diverse in the entire field of non-sportive violence that your fighting style will be not enough. A person can be attacked in so many different ways and places and for so many reasons that is necessary a system of protection that gives you the tactical and the technical tools. First, to understand this big puzzle of violence, and second, to survive his diversity. There is not shortcuts in self-protection, only hard work to develop a mind and body capable of protect yourself and your loved ones. It's a shame when I see how many people try to teach self-defense without evidence, without a method, and thinking that violence expresses in certain way only. When I designed my self-protection system, I realized that a lot of self-defense system doesn't study the evidence, how real attack occurs, how a kidnapping or a sexual abuse happens, how predator thinks and acts, when a person becomes violent, when it's better to wait, when it's better to react, what happened with the victim, how or she really responds to danger, what type of techniques you can apply with fear, how your biomechanics are influenced by your nervous system, etc. All these details are so abstract for so many. So I dedicate myself over 15 years to solve this puzzle, and I did it. And I can tell you this. Self-protection is not an art or a sport, it's a science. Because you need to apply the scientific method that saves lives. There is no room for speculations, beliefs, and styles.